Test, test, test. Test, test, test. There we go. You should be able to hear me now. Apologies for that. How is everyone doing on this fine morning and or evening? And or afternoon, I guess. We can hear you. Thank you very much, Oakboy Phil. Hope you're having a great day. Norman Bates is here. I'm not going to make the obvious joke. I'm sure you get that all the time. The Bromo Sapien. Let's do this. Let's do this indeed. Himok is here. Good to see you, buddy. We'll get your list done first so you can go and play your game as well. Existence, good evening. How are you doing today, Existence? It's weird. I'm sat at home in my room doing a stream, and most of 6++ is currently in Nottingham at Warhammer World getting drunk. A little bit of a weird feeling not to be there with my team, but hey. Two Hands! Time to lurk while eating the dinner. Two Hands, I saw that you joined the Discord. I haven't... you haven't made the cut for this week's, but in a fortnight time, I've put you on the priority list here. So, Jay says, I thought this was Fix My Lisp. My mistake. Very good. Very good. I've been watching for a while. Hell yeah. Sorry, so you just joined the Discord, and you'd put your list in the Discord as well. So, what I'm going to do going forwards is there's going to be 10 lists every time. I'm going to be following the normal priority where I go, you know, members who haven't had a list looked at in the last 2 weeks, members who have, members who haven't had their list looked at, non-members who haven't had their list looked at, members who have, and then general public who have as well. So there are a few people who haven't made the cut today, but I've put you down on my priority list for next time because Orcboy Phil and Entropy, you were both looked at 2 streams ago, so you've missed the cut on this one, but you top the priority list for next one. And then Silver and Two Hands, you just missed the cut there in terms of what we've got. And then we've got, yeah, lovely stuff. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Trying to get enough variety in, make sure that everyone gets a fair chance to have some lists reviewed. Otherwise, it would just be me reviewing the same people's lists every week, I think, which is good for, you know, a very specific subgroup of people, but doesn't do much for the viewership overall. Less orcs. I don't think there's any orcs on this time round, you know? I think we are, yeah, no orcs this time round. I need to work out what I'm playing, depending how I feel at the end of the stream, and, you know, whether we want to do that. I might build a list for next weekend's event. I don't really have time to build or paint anything. So, I'm probably playing Orcs Skaven or... what's the other one? Dark Elves. One of the 3. And I can add, like, a unit or 2, but... yeah, we'll get to that one down the line. All right, so I did promise I would do Himok's list first. You did submit your list first after the cutoff. Hey, thank you very much. Wait for it to come through.
To help solve the lack of rats issue, rat.
Brilliant. We've reached the stage of just Twitch streaming in general, where, you know, people have realised that if they put like an emote or a certain noise, it just spams annoyingly in my ear. I'm not complaining, but it is a Twitch or YouTube streamer rite of passage. Have I ever run a beast heavy Dark Elf list? No, because unfortunately I think it would be terrible. No Dragon Dark Elves. Not doing that, mostly because I don't own enough models to do that. If I was going to put a new list together, I would be doing probably Bretonnians. I'm interested in playing them at the moment. That Rabastard says, "Dear Lord." Don't worry about it, bud. That's exactly what the internet does to people who sit in front of cameras and stream to the world, and it's what we deserve. Your empire will get you on the 13th. Hell yeah. Well, let's have a look at them. So we're starting off with a Nuln list for Himok, and you've got a General of the Empire on foot, Sodomite, Talisman of Protection, Dragonbow, Captain on Warhorse with the Magnifier to go with the unit of Outriders, so they can all just shoot their guns without any or many penalties. Engineer. One of them's on a War Wagon. 2 units of Scout Archers, Outriders, State Troops with 2 units of 6 State Troops, 2 Cannons, 2 Hellblaster Volley Guns, 2 road wardens. On your list, I think I've put it in the same, but the road wardens you've put in are pointed differently to the ones that I've put in myself. So if I just scroll up, where have we got to? Yours say 118 points. I don't think I've done anything differently here. I don't think I've added any additional rules. Oh, yeah, you don't have a musician. There we go, that's why. That is the first thing that I will be changing, putting musicians in the squads. They're just so good. It was 13 rats for obvious reasons. I'm sorry. You do not have to be sorry. You're welcome to do it again. Like I say, it is a Twitch rite of passage or a YouTube rite of passage, just being spammed by funny donations. It's one of those where you pretend it annoys you, but someone's giving you money, so you're like, on the other hand, this is at least vaguely funny. Cool. So we've got the list here. Did you have any... Based on the battalion box with some extra stuff, mainly war machines and outriders because you love them. You'll play the steam tank as a war wagon. I'd also like to see some infantry on the table. That's why the troops, they're extra 5 points to spend on the missile troops buying the sergeant a repeater handgun. Lovely stuff. Okay. Ah, Orkboy Phil has donated. It hasn't come through on the stream yet though. Why is that? Why is that broken? I don't understand what's happened there. That's really... I can only apologise. It's not rendered out. Hold on. Orcs, 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 orcs. There we go. I've read out your donation. I'll have to see if there's something broken. But it was working just a second ago. Jay says there's a New Yorker. 13 rats is nothing. Isn't there the whole... No matter where you are in the world, you're always within like 10 feet of a rat or something? Huntington says hello. How are you doing, Huntington? Hope you're having a good evening. Yeah, sad. That is a shame. I don't know why it's not played. Apologies for that. Right, so back to the list. Things I like. Engineer with a white cloak is fantastic. The captain... You need someone to go in with the unit. I don't know if it is the captain for me, because you're not giving him any other upgrades. Do you have any flexibility to change this around in terms of, or are you just going with the captain because it's something that you can easily convert? Then we've got engineer, engineer, engineer. One on foot with the arquebus, which is fine. You want to have engineers anyway. One with the long rifle, which is fine. I don't like the long rifle, but it's a shot at long range, so it's not awful. 11 outriders. There's a couple of people who've gone with 11. I feel a bit uncomfortable with 11. I'd be more comfortable with 2 units of 8, but... Yeah, you were gonna convert an outrider to a captain.
Ox.
It was just delayed for some reason. Glad we got that in the end. How do you feel about going 2 slightly smaller units of outriders? Do you feel okay with that? Is that something you'd be willing to do? Because I think 2 units of 8 would be really solid compared to... You think it's okay? Yeah, we'll see how points work out, because you did say you wanted a unit of troops, so maybe we don't have points for them. Okay, so this general, I don't know what this general's doing. Do you have a goal for it? Because I'm not convinced that it's worth 173 points. It's basically a single shot that you've then given a lot of magical items to that isn't actually providing you much value, I think. Leadership for the troops. Yeah, okay. So if you're doing that, I think the way to go, drop the Sword of Might, drop the Talisman Protection, and you just go into the unit, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think you could just go like that, save a lot of points there. I don't hate a general with a dragon bow. I think that's absolutely fine. You could give him a Sword of Might, but you've got 3 attacks at weapon skill 5. Which is, sure, as good as it gets. I'd probably just give him a great weapon. And then you get to choose whether you want to be a little bit more survivable and go hand weapon shield, or just use the great weapon. Text to speech was taking a quick nap. Yeah, absolutely. He was trying to work out whether it could get away with not saying it, so that was obviously what happened there. Yes, okay, so we've got so most of this list is good. I like this list. The Road Wardens, I definitely want a musician in both squads. And so I'm just gonna duplicate. So I think 2 squads with champion and repeater pistol should fit in. Yeah, because we've got a few more points to play around with. So the question is it a captain that you put on? I think if I'm going for something, I know it's 10 points more. I'd be tempted to go for a witch hunter, I think, because they have the suffer not rule. So you can give them magic resist, flaming attacks, or magical attacks. It was rolling for quell amnesty. Yes, absolutely was. I think personally, and I think you could probably convert a nice one up from the same kit, I'd take out the captain and let's go witch hunter. I'm not even going to pay to give them upgrades. I'm not going to give him a handgun because he's ballistic skill 4, and you still take the ponderous if you're not. It's only outriders that don't get the ponderous. So even the captain was probably going to be hitting on 5s with a single shot on the handgun. So I think brace of pistols if you're going to go any weapon on the witch hunter, because then you're going to be shooting with no penalty. You've got quick shot for moving. You've got multiple shots for -1, but then you've also got the marvelous magnifier. There we go, which gives you the ignore long penalty. And then we're going to go with Warhorse as well, and that's 112 points. And that goes in the unit of 11. Is there a way to make this better? Honestly, I think... Oh, 18 points too many. Right, that's the problem we're having here. That's the issue. I like that you've gone for Vanguard on the Hellblaster volley guns. But do we drop it, or do we drop the champions? What do we get for having a champion? It's the same leadership. It's +1 ballistic skill, which is nice. And they're going to go repeater pistols. So you've got 3 shots. So effectively, instead of 2 shots hitting on 4s, you've got 3 shots hitting on 3s. That's a pretty big upgrade. That's worth the points. But you definitely want the musician. Difficult choices. What are we doing to free up the points here in rare? Because if it was... Oh, God. I really don't want to... I really don't want to drop the musician. And it wouldn't do it. But, like, what... Maybe we just have to drop the captains? 10 points too many. 2 points too many. Still 2 points too many? Ugh. Feigned flight is pretty necessary. Scouts is good. It's really difficult to fit them in. I think, for the sake of it, I would drop the volley gun on 1, which takes us to... Yeah, 1 8-point captain. I think I like this more. So you've got 1 Hellblaster that's got Vanguard, 1 that doesn't. Then you've got 1 unit of Road Wardens with the captain with the repeater pistol and 1 that doesn't. I think having both Hellblasters with Veteran would be better, but that doesn't fit unless you drop something else in here. And I think the Musician's really important. So this is where we're at currently. And you've got Triple Engineer. You've only got 4 artillery, although 2 of them are Hellblasters. I don't know. I'm almost wondering if we can get rid of one of these engineers. So let's just try this. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this, put in another witch hunter. Oh no, we're going to be so squeezed on points if we do that. So if we just go back to not having the on foot. I've just removed the wrong one. God damn it. Okay, so long rifle, get rid of the arquebus, and then put the witch hunter back on, who was magic items, magnifier, and then demon. That's important because we're going to give them magical attacks. Because this list really struggles to deal with the Green Knight otherwise, and we've gone for a great brace of pistols. I think this is fine. The general's in there still. I'll tell you what, if you're going for the engineer and you're going for a BSB, you may as well give it the war banner. I'm a big fan of chariots having high static combat res. If it's an 8 wound character. Which
I'm excited to start a new army. Crazy army of high elves with lions and dragons with a tie aesthetic. Tie to paint these nuts.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes in the High Elf book. hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm pretty hyped to play some elves, but yeah, that might be what I end up taking to the Warhammer World Tournament in April. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so going back, this is an 8-wound chariot with T5, 3-up save, and a 5-up ward. I really like a chariot with static combat res because it doesn't have swift stride. So it's a move... Oh, I've clicked the wrong thing. It's a move 7 chariot with no swift stride. So it's almost never making the charge when it matters. So I think for this, I'd much prefer to give it War Banner and BSB plus Close Order. Gives it a static combat res of 3, which is just solid to have. You can also give it a repeater pistol if you've got points to spare, and we kind of do. And that's just a case of you might get a little bit more combat res if someone charges into you, which is not too bad. I've got just a few points to squeeze out. Honestly, at this point, I'd be tempted to go... Hey, Entropy, how you doing? Yeah, there we go. Just an extra 2 state troops. I think you want to go for a brick of infantry. Why not do it properly? That's probably where I'd land on the null list. So not had to change things too much around. Let me just copy that one. I'll paste it into here. That's Himok. Lovely stuff. All right, perfect. Next up, I was thinking we may as well try and do these in order of when people are here. Is Wooter here? If you are available, Wooter, make yourself known. If not, we can move on. Wooter, Haakon, or Seum, if any of you are here. Hey, Wooter, there you are. So I started putting your list in, and I saw you wrote Beastmaster, and I was like, oh, cool. You're playing Beastmen now. That's interesting. Because I'd just forgotten that the Beastmaster exists. I think this is really interesting. You just got back for a nap. That's a super good timing. I think this is a really interesting list. So there were, let me just have a quick look in here. There were some restrictions or points about this one. So you said it was a semi-themed, semi-competitive list, built around the Beastmaster plus Dragon plus Charybdis, with the Beastmaster as generally as an 18-inch range to buff the others. You don't have 24 Dark Riders, so unlimited for core. I think that's super reasonable. I think this is a good core. The third unit of 8 Dark Riders is the least important one, because you've got the ones with Fire and Flea and Scout. So I think your core is really solid. I like it. 504 points. You love to see it come in at the absolute minimum. Is there any way to be more efficient with it? Not really. Cool. That's good. I don't normally put the champions in, but it does give you +1 ballistic skill, doesn't it? Oh, no, it doesn't. It gives you +1 attack. I would be tempted to drop these down and then just get an extra 1 repeater crossbowman in. This is really splitting hairs. This is just like squeezing efficiency. I don't see much point in the champions because you're not going to be getting any use out of them as long as you're not in combat. Yeah, cool. So then into special, I'm deliberately leaving the characters for now. In fact, no, let's have a look at characters. So Beastmen have some great rules. So Eternal Hatred is obviously just the high elf hatred that you get every turn. Goad Beast. Command subphase, you may goad a single friendly model in your command range, so 18 inches, as you said, because general, including their own amount, and they get plus D3 attacks, which is spicy. So you can put it on the Black Dragon, which is cool. And then I noticed for the Black Dragon, you'd gone Dark Magic, and you're going into going for Battle Lust to give it Frenzy and Hatred. So you're basically going to turbocharge 1 monster, which I think is very cute. I like it. I do like it. Tiedemann says, had to engage in the silly TTS. Hey, if you're giving me money to make a voice say silly things in my ear, I am not going to complain. That is, you know, weirdly completely fine by me. So yeah, here we are. We've got. I like this. I think this is solid. So the thing that I don't know if I love on the Beastmaster is the Sword of Might. In fact, I don't know if I love the defensive setup at all. So you've got a 5-up, 5-up, which is fine. And then you've got the Pendant of Caleth and the Supreme Sorceress. Is it better to... Because you've spent 70 points here. You're going to do... I know you've got Weapon Skill 7, but you're going to have 3 attacks at Strength 5, AP 1. That's not nothing. Yeah, Sword of Might was leftover points. Cool. So, because I love what you're doing with this. I think this is a really interesting build. But if we just drop all of this, what if we give you the Armor of Destiny for the same points? Heavy armor, plus a ward save. So you've got a 5-up that can be reduced by AP, and then you've got a 4-up ward. And then you also go shield and Sea Dragon Cloak. And that gets you to a 3-up save against shooting. And the reason that's more important is your T3 plus 2 for the Manticore. Oh no, plus 1 for the Manticore, sorry. So you're only T4, which is... Oh... so you're more interested in being able to overcome the light, smattering of attacks that will come your way. I think I would prefer a 3-up save against shooting and a 4-up ward instead of a 5-up that can't be reduced. Venomous Tail. You don't even get an extra attack if you pay for the Venomous Tail. That's terrible. Because the Manticore has, 4 attacks, Strength 5 with Wicked Claws, so AP 2. Yeah, that's solid. Does it have... It's a monster, right? It's not a behemoth. Yeah, monster. So D3 stomp attacks. Okay, so you really need it to do a lot. I'm a little worried about Leadership 9 Willful Beast. But, you're playing with a specific build in mind, so, we'll take what we can get. Supreme Sorceress here, I really like. The problem you're going to have is outside of Word of Pain and Battle Lust, you don't actually do much. Soul Eater is okay into very specific armies. And, okay, it's not even good. Phantasmagoria is incredibly underwhelming. Infernal Gateway sounds good, but you can't teleport yourself out of combat, which is a bit of a bugger. Stream of Corruption is a breath weapon attack, so it's actually worse than you'd expect. And Doombolt is bad. So you're looking at the Law of Nagaroth as well. You can make something -1 weapon skill or ballistic skill, which is not awful. Black Horror I don't love, on the basis of it is random movement. So maybe I'd be going Cursing Word and just going full hexes. The other option is you can't even get a good weapon in here if you don't, if you go for the Pendant Caliph and Law Familiar, that only leaves you with 30 points. So you can't even justify going Illusion, can you? No. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This is cute. The poison attack might just wound a high toughness bottle with 3 saves. Very good, Tita Man. Very good. So that puts us 4 points over. Into special. Love this. This is just a fantastic setup. Huge fan of the Banner of HaakonX. I think what this list really wants is a Ruby Ring of Ruin. And this is personal taste. I think this unit with the Ruby Ring of Ruin is fantastic. Demonology is good for combat, but you lose the movement spell. Yeah, that's the problem. Charybdis, Double Scourge Runner, and Harpies. Charybdis, eh? Let's just remind ourselves how it goes. Alright, so it's 5 attacks at Strength 7. It's T5, 5 wounds with a 5-up armor save, and it doesn't have a regen or anything like that. It's got a Cavernous Maw, so it makes 1 attack with Strength 7, AP2, Armor Bane, 1 Killing Blow. I do love when you see Armor Bane combined with Killing Blow. It feels wrong. I understand there is a reason for it. Like if you're going into chariots or monsters, but still. And then the Writhing Tentacles. So you just make... Oh, okay, strengthening... I mean, honestly, it's not bad in terms of its output. So it's 5 attacks, and you get plus D3 from the Beastmaster, so average 7, and then 8 because of Frenzy. It's weapon skill 5. So you just want to, shoot it into troops and do 1,000,000 points of damage with that and the Frenzy Hatred Charybdis. It is what it is. It's obviously not an optimal unit. It's going to die to shooting, but if you can get it there, it's a cute combo. I enjoy it. So all we need to do now is shave 41 points. I think, for my money, the easiest way to do it is just to drop the Harpies. I like Harpies, but they're very easy to cut if you need to. Because the Scourge Runner chariots are honestly pretty okay. They're super cheap. They're only T4, 4-up save with 4 wounds. Or 5-up save, that's even worse. They do have the Harpoon, which will be hitting on a horrendous... it's cumbersome, right? Ponderous. Yeah, so you're probably going to hit on 6s a lot of the time, if not 7s. But, if you stand still, it's there, or you can just use them as light chariots. Oh, it's a 4-up save because they've got a sea dragon cloak. Yeah, I think this is interesting. I like the vibe you've gone for. For my money, I think if we're doing this, you put the ruby ring into the Cold War Knights to give them just a little bit more flexibility, so you don't have to full send. And then we maybe just go for the last 14 points. Beastmaster. That's another repeater crossbowman. That's literally just to fill up the points. In fact, is there anything in the character slot that we want to put on? So, could give the Beastmaster a repeater crossbow. Ballistic skill 7. It's not awful. Oh, he doesn't have a weapon at the moment. He's just got a hand weapon and a whip, which is strikes first. So give him a cav spear so he does a little bit of something. Give him a repeater crossbow, and then maybe go lordling there for the +1 ballistic skill. Hey, Ginger Steve. Who thinks that with Edge's sexy voice and the lo-fi they might be playing this tonight to help them fall asleep? I was thinking about, should I just read the entire Warhammer set of rules, just top to bottom, just have it as like a massive 8-hour long video, and be like, hey, put this on when you sleep, put it on Spotify, have it in the background, see how that goes. I can't imagine it'd be super worthwhile. Ed SMR. Hey, I want, tell you what, let's start a poll. How do we do this? I think I've got to do it in the actual YouTube studio itself. Start a poll. So, ASMR, yes or no? Because my partner really likes it. It freaks me the fuck out. I am not on board with ASMR. It's not for me. That is for sure. While we're doing that, there's 46 of you and only 9 likes on the stream. Give us a thumbs up. It helps me get seen by more people. Always helpful in the engagement. Do appreciate that. Learn the rules through osmosis. Yeah, absolutely. Might help people remember the rules even if they don't read them. Maybe I should do it. So it's... Yeah. I thought it was going to be a poll for me to make some ASMR. I mean, I guess it kind of is, because people are in chat being like, oh, maybe you should read the rules. So, yeah. Team ASMR. We're at 77% for yes. I hate this. ASMR is weird, but reading the rulebook is silky. The community has whispered. Very good, Jay. Very good. I like that. Let's have a look here. Give me 10 hours of page flipping noises. Oh, God, I'd have to actively flip physical pages. I was thinking about reading it as a PDF so I could... Because I've got the microphone in front of me, so if I had the book in front of me as well, it wouldn't work super well. But yeah. I believe ASMR can be enjoyed by everyone. You just need to find your triggers. I think I have misophonia. I haven't been diagnosed, and I'm always, loath to jump on a bandwagon and just diagnose myself. But eating ASMR is the most divisive. When I hear people eating, I want to punch them in the face. It is an immediate rage reaction. It is difficult to deal with. We need the page turning noise if we're doing it. Mate, what if I read it off a PDF and then I flipped the pages and did that separately? God, that sounds like way too much effort. All right, I don't know. I don't really want to do it, but maybe I will do it. Maybe that's like an April Fool's video. Maybe. I shouldn't have said this out loud because now people are going to actively want me to do it. God damn it. Close order. Close order is a way to get +1 combat res for units that are good. Very good. Yeah. I should probably update the channel landing page video and just have it as me saying that. Okie dokie. Well, good stuff, Wuta. I think that's a really fun list. I enjoyed that. Reading rulebook might be longer than 8 hours. It might be. It might be. And that's why no one in the history of Old World has done it. HaakonX. Are you here, HaakonX, for your Errantry Crusade list? Or if not, Seum or WarBanjo. If either of you are there, we can move on to you first and then come back. It's just nice to be able to engage with the people who... Hey! Oh, Cola, that's you. Fantastic stuff. Always throws me off a little bit when people have different lists, different names on YouTube and on Discord. Good to see you. All right, so you've gone for Errantry Crusade. I've been writing Errantry Crusade lists recently. I want to make them good. Hey, WarBanjo, excellent. We'll come to you next if Seum doesn't shout up. But it's good to see that we've got people who are here for their list. So, yeah, I've been writing Errantry Crusade lists. I think they're really interesting. I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do. And this big unit of Knights of the Realm is basically the thing that I'm expecting people to do. So... Seum's here as well. Fantastic. We've got a full house. We'll go in order then. But we'll get through all of yours in the next sort of 20-30 minutes anyway, so you won't be waiting too long. So, Duke, you've gone for Ogre Blade, Seal of Paraffin, Virtue of Knightly Temper. I don't think I want the Seal of Paraffin on this character. So, I don't know if you saw earlier, I can't remember if it was you who was asking, but this is a roll of a 3+, but it doesn't include modifiers. We had a look at the wording, and because the way modifiers work is they modify the dice roll, and this isn't a natural roll of a 3+, even like if you're going into something that's the same weapon skill as you and then you're -1 to hit, you'd still be hitting on 4s. Well, the weapon skill doesn't matter with Seal of Paraffin, sorry. But you'd be hitting on 4s because of the -1 to hit. So I don't think it's worth paying for. I don't know if there's anything that's worth putting on the character. That's the problem. You can be immune to multi-wounds, which is not awful. Otherwise, you could go, if you wanted, you could go for a Potion of Strength. If you really wanted to just go in and try and boulder something that's hard. I'd love to put a talisman, not a talisman of protection, a Paymaster's Coin. The Exiles version of it that lets you reroll 1 hit wound or save per turn is really nice. But you can't get that, obviously, so there's no point even thinking about it. So I would say we take off the Seal of Paraffin, and I think, what does the mantle do again? Immune to poison attacks, okay, so not anything relevant. If you really want to, like, it looks like you want to hit things that are hard to kill, which is why you've gone for the Seal of Paraffin. So I'm going to say Potion of Strength, and let's just go with get you to wounding things on a 2, because you're Strength 5 already, and the Potion of Strength at minimum takes you to 8, so you're always wounding dragons on 2s with this if you use the potion. I think that's maybe an interesting route to go down. Or you could go Potion of Toughness if you wanted to get into a second round of combat with it or something along those lines. Alright, Prophetess, you've gone for Biting Blade, Ruby Ring of Ruin, Lore Familiar, and Illusion. I think this is a confused loadout, I will say. I'm not sure that it wants the Ruby Ring of Ruin on there, because you wanted to put it in with the Knights of the Realm, didn't you? Yeah, the Paladin and the Prophetess are meant to go into the Knights of the Realm. So I think I like having Ruby Ring of Ruin. I don't like having Ruby Ring of Ruin here. Hey, Nicholas, welcome to the club, buddy. Glad to see you. I understand that you're going Illusion, so you've got, obviously, you're going to be taking Glittering Robe, I guess, or you're going for the regen. Sort of, it's 1A, 1B, depending on which game you're playing. And then you'll be going Column of Crystal, you'll be going Miasmic Mirage. You may as well pick up Spectral Doppelganger as your 4th spell. I don't think Strength 3 AP2 hits is particularly good. I think Strength 4 AP1 hits is a little bit better. I don't love any of them, but I think I like the Sword of Might a little bit more. It's just a shame that you can't put anything a bit more interesting on. Have I taken something off here? Did it have a Talisman of Protection? It doesn't need a Talisman of Protection. You Bretonnians, you've got a ward save. I really wanted to put it on a unicorn for the extra wound, but then you lose countercharge, and that's obviously not worth doing. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted, we could go Heartwood Lance. How spicy are you feeling if you want to all in on this? Does Lady's Wrath with the Knights of the Realm block work? What part of it wouldn't work? Hold on, let me just pull up the Blessings of the Lady. No, not Blessings. Lore of the Lady. Yeah, you'd give the unit +1 strength and AP, or you could go with the Lady's Gift for the regen. Sword of the Stout-Hearted Prophetess. Let's have a look. What does the Sword of the Stout-Hearted do? 25 points. Strength +2, AP -1. Honestly, I don't hate that. That's a really good suggestion, Sylvia. Hey, Landon, good to see you. Yeah, so if you... We've got choices here. Bretonnians have such good weapons. They're a little bit spoiled. So, Sword of the Stout-Hearted gets you Strength 5, AP 1, with Armor Bane 1 and nothing else that matters. Two-handed, but again, doesn't matter. Foebreaker is... Nope, that's no good. The Morning Star is the one that breaks magic items. That's not relevant. So the reason I like the Heartwood Lance is it gets you to Strength 6, AP 3 on the charge. It's more points, but it does hit hard. Crusader's Lance is good too. I don't think we've got the points for it. There's Lore Familiar, and... Oh, we can take off the Sword of Might. Yeah! Let's have a look. Crusader's Lance. Because this is the Errantry Crusade only. This is Armor Bane 2, Furious Charge, Hatred, Magical Attacks. Okay, so I like this, but I like it more as like a pseudo third Duke or Baron. Because if you're doing the Spectral Doppelganger, you don't need Furious Charge and Hatred. You're just fishing for a big number on the number of Spectral Doppelganger hits. I think Crusader's Lance is where we go. I think that's really fun. So that's your... And you're working out at roughly the same points anyway, so that works out nicely. So Duke hits hard, Prophetess hits hard, Paladin... Because this list, all it does is hit hard, right? Because you lose flexibility. You've got a frenzied unit that you're putting all your eggs in, so you better hit real hard. That's what I think. All right, Paladin. Crusader's Tapestry. This gives you Frenzy, isn't it? That's the source of Frenzy. Yeah, love it. You've gone for Lance, Shield, Heavy Armor, and the Falcon Horn of Freeman. This is good. 100% about hitting hard. Right, okay. There is another thing that we should do. So, like I say, I've been looking at this list, and if you want to go for one sort of like Death Star unit, there is the Virtue of the Impetuous Knight. Gives the unit Impetuous. Oh no, my already impetuous, already frenzied unit gains Impetuous. However, gets +3 to the charge range, and they get plus D3 to the charge roll. So you're going 8, 14, 17. You can declare 20 inches away. You could declare the reach of a dragon, which is, now that I say that, less exciting when the dragon is 20 inches away. But, you know, I think it's still solid. Falcon Horn you've got here on the unit that's going to charge in every turn and then has to overrun. That's fine, I think. It's worth having in the list still. Just giving you that, like, first couple of turns. So I think I like Virtue of the Impetuous Knight here. It does overcap us on points, but that's okay. We can tweak that. And then you've got 2 units of Knights Errant. I would drop the Gallants here. I don't know if you put them in... Oh, no, you're well over on core anyway. If you haven't got any characters joining them, I don't think the Gallant adds much in terms of what it's bringing to the unit. Standard Bearer is fine. I'd almost be tempted to lose the Standard and just rely on them killing stuff. Maybe not. Maybe that's a little too ballsy. Have you ever accidentally tried to put your foot in the brake and jam the accelerator instead? That's this. That is this. This is a list that is all about full violence. Yeah, so I think I drop the Gallants on both of those. If you drop the Standard Bearers, that's cheeky as well, because that gets you down to 661. I'm not 100% sold that we do drop the Standards, but I'll come back to them. Then you've got the unit of 13, which has got the Crusader's Clarion, which gives the mounts +1 strength, so it gets them up to strength 4. We know that's good. Anyone who's played Warriors of Chaos. Got Warbanner in here, which is a great choice. Yeah, although you haven't got the Banner of Shalons in the list. What's the Errantry Banner do again? +1 strength and it gains Impetuous. That's fine, they've got Impetuous already. Is that worth it on the Pegasus Knights? Yeah, it probably is, because that... Oh, if you're doing that, you don't need the Potion of Strength on the Duke, right? Because that's going to get you to Strength 8. Alright, let's take off the Potion of Strength. Maybe we just go Syrian's Locket. I think that's fine. So, Peg Knights, you want full command because you're going to probably have the character in there. Errantry Banner for +1 strength is really good. Impetuous is very whatever. Then you've got the Grail Knights as well. Like the Grail Knights. Really like the Grail Knights. I would maybe tempted to put the Ruby Ring of Ruin on them. Maybe not, actually. I like it on a T4 unit of cavalry with a 2-up save, but a T4 with a 3-up save, which feels just a little bit too risky in my eyes. I don't know that I love that one. So, yeah. We're just 13 points over. How do we fix this? How do we fix this? Because, I mean, could drop the standard and the champion for the Grail Knights. There's not really any downsides to having a champion because they've got living saints, right? So any model can accept challenges. So the reason you normally don't take them is so you don't get locked into a challenge. So you may as well pay for the extra points. And yeah, struggling to cut points. Maybe what we do is the Crusaders Lance is spicy, but maybe we just go for a middle ground and we go for the Sword of the Stout-Hearted, which was an excellent suggestion from chat. You still strength 5, you become strength 6 if you cast the Lady's Gift. The Lady's... whatever the one is that gives you plus strength. And yeah, that looks solid to me. I don't think we're missing anything from this list. I think it does what it sets out to do very well. Because we're low on points, I'm going to put the standards back in. And then we've got another 10 points, which means... is there anything that should go on? I feel like we've kind of just locked everything up correctly anyway. Yeah. This looks good. I'm struggling for the last 10 points. I guess we just put champion back. Was there anywhere that was missing it? Put a champion in here. Yeah, I mean, the last few points can be tweaked, but I like the list. It's full violence. I think you've gone down the list of what you want to do with, again, the full violence list pretty effectively. So put that one in there. Moving on to Seum's tzeentch Demons. We have got an interesting list here. Lord of Change, Demon Prince, Furies, 20 Pink Horrors, Flamers, Skull Cannon, and Soul Grinder. Is the audio always this bad? Anyone having audio issues? Nobody said anything, so I haven't assumed there were any issues with it. Not sure if my microphone's coming through correctly. Audio's fine for you. No, sounds good here. Okay, cool. If there are any issues, let me know. Maybe the music is a little loud. Fine here if a little quiet. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I will turn my music down, and that way the balance between the two is a little better. Perfect. Alright, lovely. Thanks, chap. Well, Seum, who is Hassa Flavor. How have you played many games with demons? What's your experience with the list? Because the thing that sort of throws me off is this unit of pink horrors, which I'm not convinced that they're going to be super worthwhile. So if you look at the Lore of Demons, they have 2 spells. They can cast, the combination of the rank bonus and the banner they've got, they can cast a bound spell at level 4. So they can cast Pink Fire, which would be D3 plus 3 strength 3 hits with no AP and then flamey attacks. That's just actively bad. Or you can go Gift of Mutation, which if you cast on an 8, you are minus D3 to 1 stat, or if you roll a 12, it's minus D3 to 2. And this is a very good spell, so it's a good hex to have, I will say that. Weapon skills, strength, and toughness are very good buffs, or debuffs, to put onto someone. And the fact that you only need to get an 8 to get it off, like, if you can get weapon skill and toughness, for example, more of a succession is you don't have enough Furies to take 500 points, and that's super fair. Okay. So what I would say is I'd be tempted to do it more like this. So you go a unit of 8 and a unit of 7. I think if you take units of 5, it's very easy for them to get chipped down and just not do anything at all. So having them consolidated into a couple of units means that even if they take a few casualties between them, they're still going to be able to hit hard enough. You said the Demon Prince potentially goes in the unit with the horrors, so you can try and roll the battle magic oaken shield, right? That is an interesting plan. I definitely give him heavy armor. I guess you're not giving him fly in that case. And there's no upgrades there. I don't know. The problem is, if you go battle magic and you roll your spells, you can't have the flexibility of flying around and magic missiling if you don't roll oaken shield, because you can't take wings and then join the unit. So I don't want to suggest that you do that. Why are we 7 points over? I'm sure we had the correct number of points before. 15, 15. Yeah, we've got the same number of models here. Have I changed anything else? I don't think I have changed anything else. That's bizarre. Alright, I'll come back to it in a sec. The Flames of Tzeentch, I like this. Oh, yeah, no, I wanted to talk about the Lord of Change. Added armor. I did add armor, yes, thank you. That's exactly what I did. Lord of Change. So, level 4 illusion with twin head. I like that. Double iridescent corona is really interesting. I haven't seen anyone do this, and I didn't even consider that you could. Do you find ballistic skill shooting a problem for your Lord of Change? Because you are T6 with, a ward save. Do you find that you're getting picked apart by shooting usually? Because this is not something that I'd put on personally, but it does depend on local meta. So if for you it makes a difference, it can be worth doing. Lots of poison shooting you've been seeing. That is fair. That is fair. So if you're at long range, if I'm a little bit quiet, hold on. Tell me which way I've gone. Am I louder this way or quieter this way? I think I'm louder. I did mess around with my microphone settings, so I did tweak it. So maybe that's better for everyone. I'll just wait and see if people... Excellent stuff. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I think that's a really interesting adaptation. Double stacking the modifier to hit against poison shooting. A lot of poison shooting is obviously weapon skill 3, or sorry, ballistic skill 3. So if you're at long range, you're going to be hitting on 7s, which is a problem. The problem is a lot of it's either like it's short bows. People won't be able to sleep to this now. I know, I'm terribly sorry. I can only apologize for my actions. But I won't, because I am truly a fuck. I can turn my music up to a slightly more reasonable volume now so I can hear it. But yeah, no, that's cute. I like it. Okay. And then you've got the Flamers. I was going to say move the Power Vortex to the Lord of Change, because he's more likely to be in the middle of the board, mixing it up with the illusion casting. But it makes sense to have it here. Demonology is absolutely the right choice. Obviously, you've got the summoning. So you're casting here, a slightly better fireball, slightly harder to cast, slightly lower range, but it's a good one. Otherwise, Steed of Shadows is honestly quite nice, because you can get the pink horrors into range. Demonic Vessel is pretty okay. It's not incredible, because you don't want to be in combat, but I think it changes the... So it's strength, attacks, and AP. So I think for them, it's just the AP it changes, because the Warp Flame is, set strength. It's not strength user. But it does take it to AP 2, which is not nothing. And then you can give them extra movement speed. So all of these things are fine. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a really interesting build. With what you've got here, I don't know if I'd change anything, honestly. And I think what I'm going to have to do... I am going to have to take this back down to light armor, because it doesn't... I can't put the points in for heavy armor, which is probably the reason why you didn't have it. So, yeah, this is interesting. I mean, obviously, if I was playing Tzeentch Demons, or just Demons in general, I'm probably running the Demon Prince with trying to blast, no magic items is tough. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'd probably run the Demon Prince as more of a caster to do damage, give it wings, drop the pink horrors, run more Furies. Otherwise, this is good. I'd love to take a second Skull Cannon, but you can't because the Soul Grinder's in there, and the Soul Grinder is really good. So, yeah, no. I really don't have much to change here. In fact, all I've done is change the quantities of models in your core. So apologies for not tweaking much. You've obviously come up with I think you've maximized the theme well. So I don't think there's really anything to change here. You could go for a second skull cannon instead of the soul grinder. I like the skull grinder more, but the soul grinder more, but the skull cannon is cheaper, and it's still relatively tanky. 4 wounds at T5 with a 4 up, 5 up, conditional 5 up, and then obviously it's got its own strength 8, AP2, D3 damage cannon. But yeah, I like it. I think this is a good list. I'm not going to post it in the channel because all I've done is tweak the quantities here. Have I done Ginger Steve's list yet? No, I haven't, but I will be getting to that one. What I'll do is I asked if WarBanjo was here, saw that WarBanjo was here, so we'll do that, and then I'll do Ginger Steve because I know he's active in the chat. WarBanjo, hope you're still with us. Yeah, sorry, mate. I haven't managed to make any improvements, but I'm gonna say that's a compliment because you've obviously done a good job with your list. So, WarBanjo, you have gone for the Nuln detachment as well. Have we had double? Yeah, we had both Empire lists and Nuln. I think that's fun. Hey, perfect. So we've got General Hans. I like General Hans. Then you've got Triple Engineer, all on foot with a Hockland long rifle. Then you've got a Griffin Standard BSB on foot, Witch Hunter, who's joining the Outriders, and then a big unit of Nuln veteran state troops, triple cannon, double Hellbuster, or triple Hellbuster volley gun. I think you've maximised the theme pretty effectively. I do not hate this at all. So, what tweaks would I make here? Well, I think, what's the point of, oh, you get the +1, so you're more likely to go first. Is this the list where you said you had 4 drops? Because you've got 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4. Oh, I think this might not be a legal list. I think you need 1 additional unit because you've got to have 3 units that aren't 3 units that aren't characters or war machines. So you need 1 more. But if you were to make them scouts, it depends. In your local meta, if you do scout count towards your number of drops for deployment, because a unit of Empire Archers is the easiest way to fix this. Does the detachment count for that? Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look here. Damn, split the Outriders. Ginger Steve says, where did you learn that, Edward? Well, maybe I might have written a list for someone unnamed, and they took it to a tournament, and they got to game 4 before someone... Oh, they count for it. Okay, cool. That works. Let's just go with that then, and I'll drop the archers. I think it might count. Yeah, perfect. All right, sweet. That was the sort of main quibble I had. I think I want Ruby Ring in here. So General Hans is providing a +1 to go first. Triple Engineer, Captains of the Empire, Marvelous Magnifier, Witch Hunter. I do like that. I don't really care for the handgun because you're going to be shooting, you're going to be hitting on 6s a lot of the time because you're still taking the movement and ponderous. So I think let's drop that for now. I like a brace of pistols, but that's more points. How many points is a Hockland long rifle? 10 points. You know what I'd be tempted to do? Because it's only 1 shot of ballistic skill 4. I'd be tempted to do this and to go... Where you at? Ruby Ring of Ruin. Because the output from a single Ruby Ring of Ruin is way higher than 3 Hockland long rifles. And then we just drop down to a brace of pistols. Yeah, that works. Although I did want to make some other tweaks. So, were there any model constraints, or is this just the most efficient list that you were putting together? You like having 4 drops. Main opponent is Meta Vets. Vanguard on the Hellblasters to deploy on the board edge if they're aggressive or fast. Static combat res of 7 should be nice, especially with the standard route. God's Filthy, but have enough to place at least a 3-2-0. Yeah, no, this is good. I like this list. Griffin Standard is great. Obviously providing +2 rank bonus instead of just the regular. So you're getting 1 for close order, 4 for rank bonus, 1 for BSB, 1 for standard. I think that's everything. 1 for War Banner as well? Is the War Banner? Maybe you get a static res of 8. Hold on. Close order, banner, BSB, rank, War Banner. Yeah, you've got a static combat res of 8. That's pretty good. I don't think that matters much, but in like outside of dragons, it's nice to have. And then obviously you've got the state missile troops just to do some plinky shots as well, which is cool. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I think you should put the captain on something to make him more defensible, because right now he is providing 3 combat res, and he's going to be numero uno in terms of targets for people to kill. So for my money, I think, I know you've given him a ward save already, I think drop the Sword of Might. He's got 2 attacks at strength 5, AP 1 with weapon skill 5. That's not really interesting or important. So I think you go Demigriff, and that gives you +1 of your +1 wound. It also takes you to a 2-up save. Forgot close order. Everyone has it in meta. Yeah, absolutely. Close order, the best thing you can have, eh? That does put us 30 points over, 29 points over. So you could do it with a warhorse, barded warhorse, which would be under points. But if you do that, you're not getting the +1 wound. So I really like the Demigriff, and it also adds a little bit of combat res in terms of the 3 attacks that the Demigriff provides. I don't know that there's anything else that I'd put in here. Is there? I think this is fine. Do you have a Witch Hunter's Ward in this unit? No. So you definitely want to give it magic resist because it's sort of your Death Star unit. And then I guess I don't really want to drop too many models here, but that is the obvious solution. So what if we go down to 20? Oh, that works out perfectly. 20, no. Yeah, cool. I think this is the changes I'd make. So basically, drop the Hochland long rifles on the engineers, swap them for a Ruby Ringaroon, because that's just going to do more damage in the long run. Put the captain on a Demigriff and drop the Sword of Might, because it's not going to do much. You're basically replacing 2 attacks at strength 5, AP 1, with 3 attacks at strength 5, AP 2. So you're upgrading in terms of output and defenses. Then the Witch Hunter swapped over to a pistol. I like that you've gone for the demon here. I think this is just the objectively correct one to go for. Give this unit the Witch Hunter's Ward for the Magic Resist 2, and then if the Veteran Sergeant ever has to take a challenge, change banners so the expensive is in the elite. That's such a good shout. Such a good shout. I say that all the time. Why did I not suggest that? It's the better one as well. Thank you, Simon. You are on the money there. Great shout. It makes no difference for character points or overall points, but it's just better because if they manage to snipe out your character, you do have the defense. And then I guess one of these could have an upgrade. Oh, there's nothing for 5 points, is there? No. Okay, sure. Goldfire. Hey! Good to see you. Everyone's in chat this evening. Okay, perfect. Any questions there? I think we've wrapped that one up. Wrapped that one up nicely. We'll come on to Ginger Steve's Lizard Team, as I've absolutely called it next. Empire play again. Empire player that Lambo played against had a TSN. Let me try that sentence again. God, words. Empire player you played against at the TSN arena had a BSB on Demigriff. You dig it? Hell yeah. That's good. I think we haven't had to change much. I think you had a really solid core there. So it was at WarBanjo. If I ping you there, easy to find it. Have we all liked the stream? Help a 40k player out and get in the old world. Hey, never going to lose that reputation for some reason. Haven't played a game of 40k in about 8 months now. You know, recovered. Funnily enough, do talk about my history with 40k on Stu's channel, Miniature Realms. There's a couple of videos I'm going to be in, either next week or the week after. I'll make sure to post them on the Discord. So if you're not on the Discord already, make sure to pop down below. It's a great community, lots of chat already. A couple of 100 people. We've had a few people join during the stream already. It's a great place. I try and respond as much as possible, even though it is incredibly busy. And if you do want to become a channel member, there is a VIP section for, I believe it's Longbeard tier subscribers and below. And most of my chatting I do in the VIP lobby because it's easier to keep track of than sort of picking out between. And then you get to ask podcast questions as well, vote on the Pick My Army, see whatever content sneak peeks I have as well. Although honestly, I come up with a lot of stuff on the day, so it's not super busy in there. And while we're doing the self-promotion, anyone who hasn't, I'd appreciate if you could give me a thumbs up. Always helpful getting this seen by more people. Appreciate you all. At some point, I'll get the professional patter down. It's Stu seems like such a nice bloke. He is possibly the nicest man I've talked to in Warhammer ever. It was so lovely. And he said, you know, he'd love to have me on in a few months' time. I said, I'd love to have you on in a couple of months' time. I genuinely feel like I've made a friend. It's really nice. I'm jazzed that I got to speak to him for a couple of hours. That rat bastard says, "Stay strong, mate. Proud of you." I'm assuming that's in relation to me not playing 40k. Fair. You know, that's reasonable. Stephen Fay says, "What's up?" Hey. Good to have you, Stephen. Hope you're doing well. Lambo Paint says, "Wasn't seeing you today enough." I've just put 2 and 2 together. I didn't realise that was you, Nick. I don't know why. Well, there we are. Good to have you. Good to have you. Lambo is my not quite but sort of boss currently, just like Ginger Steve is my sort of boss as well. So I'm doing some commission building for Steve. All right, well, we're on to Steve's list, and I know so at the start I said I was going to be doing 10 lists, and I went through the priority. Given how much Steve has donated to the stream, I think he can have a list every week if he wants one, and I don't think anyone will have any quibbles, because he's the one who has helped get me set up a lot, so much appreciation there. We're going to look at a lizardman list that he has put together for teams, which is just straight up violence. I love it. So we're starting off with triple Carnosaur, which is great. Then we've got 18 Saurus Warriors. You have to take a unit of 10, so going for a unit of 18 makes sense in my eyes, because you may as well, you know, get some use out of them. And this is a static combat Resbruck. Andrew says, "Any ogre lists tonight?" There isn't, unfortunately. There's not a lot of ogre lists in existence. But in a fortnight's time, sort of next Thursday, so put it in your calendar, I'll be putting a link, a call out on Discord on the 23rd for people to have their next lists fixed. So if you want to see some ogre lists, you can put one on after I put the call out. Any lists that go in before I put the at everyone don't get seen, just for it's difficult to reach. Entropy, your list didn't because you were done 2 weeks ago. So I'm trying to make it so there's the priority list in the Discord channel, but what I've done is I've put you on the priority list, so you and Orcboy Phil, who are both channel members but haven't, but were done in the last 2 weeks, your list will be seen next week as number 1 priority if you want to put those on. Same as Silver and Two Hands as well. Okay, so Lizardman. I like this. This is for playing at the... Hey, Phil. This is for playing at TSN Arena, so I know you can take 6 units of... Oh, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. So if you have been gifted a member very generously, please do say thanks to Ginger Steve. Does help me keep things running. Really appreciated. And also make sure that you come down to the Discord and also mention in the needs roll channel. So the third one down, just put in the list, you know, say what your YouTube name is if it's different to your Discord name. Entropy, you weren't done 2 weeks ago. You were on week 4, weren't you? It was 2 streams ago, not 2 weeks ago. I'm happy to look at your list outside of the stream, but, you know, I can, once we're finished here, I can have a look at your list and suggest some changes for you. That's so many names. Thank you so much. Like I say, put it in the Discord, in the needs roll channel, and I will apply your role on Discord for you. And then you'll be able to see the hidden, sneaky VIP areas and chat with me there. Cool. Okay. So, because I know this is rule of 6 for core, I'm going to suggest that we go with units of 12 skinks, just to fill it out slightly. So Gives you 4 units of 12, which is just a little bit more flexible than units at 18. They're a little bit difficult to use, I think. And what else have we got? So I really like this list. I don't think there's a huge amount that you can tweak. So the core of the list is you've got a combat res brick here for Saurus. You've got a tournament in 2 weeks. Yeah, no worries. You can either put it in the channel and then at me, or you've been messaging me directly anyway. So just shoot me a message anyway, and I'll get back to you with some feedback. Yeah, lizardmen. Lizardmen are fun. There are 2 lizardmen lists. This is the more competitive one. The other one is more to a theme, if I remember correctly. But we'll get to that one. So character-wise, what is difficult to do if you want to go for a Saurus Old Blood, which I think it's right to do because their attacks, they're 5 attacks. They're strength 7, AP 2, because obviously you've got a great weapon. You get a 6th attack from Furious Charge. So the Saurus on top is the most aggressive character in Old World. I would like a Paymaster's Coin on here if possible, because they're only weapon skill 6, but it's a little bit hard to fit in. But you've got the Talisman Protection and the Glyph Necklace, so that's 2 ward saves. And then this one, I'm going to say, fair play to you. This is not something I'd considered. Shield of the Warrior True. So you get a 5-up ward save against shooting phase wounds. And that's probably enough, because a lot of the time you're going to send the 3rd one just into something that's not likely to wound you anyway. So I think that's a really interesting buy. The other obvious thing you can do, and this is where points get really fucky, is you can go for the... What's it called? We put it on someone... Yeah, the Armor of Destiny for the 4-up ward, but I don't think the points work with it. So I actually really like this loadout you've got here. I would like to see Meteoric Iron in somewhere, but you've gone for a BSB with the Jaguar Standard. The question becomes, is the Jaguar Standard worth taking? Which is maybe, because if you become Blood Frenzied, you pursue less, I believe. If we look at the Carnosaur, Blood Frenzy, you gain Frenzy. Maybe it's not Blood Frenzy. I'm sure there's a rule that the Carnosaur has that makes it overrun not as far. Maybe I'm making that up. I think I might be making that up. Yeah, no, okay. I'm definitely making that up. So you get to overrun more. I think the Jaguar Standard is super fine. Like, there's no downside to having it. But I think I'd rather go a little bit tankier on my general. So I would go with the Armor of Meteoric Iron. And then you can drop the shield as well. So you've got a 5-up that can't be reduced. Doomwood Rule, Blood Greed. Right, yes. I think there's another one as well that has it. Because it definitely is Beastmen. You're both right. I'm sure there's another one. Is it maybe... Do Ogres have it with the Cannibal Totem? I think that's the other one that I'm thinking of. As soon as there's the same rule in a couple of places, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's it's widespread. Anything that has these sorts of characteristics have it. So that's where I've got myself confused. Yes, so... We've got the double Carnosaur Scar Veteran. We've got the single Carnosaur here, which is the Old Blood. These things are absolute beat sticks, and this is for a team tournament. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that makes this list quite scary, because you can avoid the things that really mess you up. The things that really mess you up are mostly lists. So, like, a Chaos Lord and Dragon wins into these characters, and also any, like, illusion casters. So, if you can Miasmic Mirage and Column of Crystal, they do beat you. But other than that, I think you've got some decent play. So this is a pretty solid teams list. I don't hate the Warrior Brick. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's not awful. 4 units of Skinks, 2 with Scouts. Oh, that was the other change I wanted to make. Stegodons. So if you look at Stegodons, because you've just gone for the Great Bows, the Stegodon here, it's a T6 5-wound character, or not character, model. It's a behemoth, so it gets D3 plus 2 stomps. These are stats that stay the same. It also has move 6, they both have move 6, and it's weapon skill 3 with 4 attacks and strength 5. If you pay 15 points more, you lose an attack, so you go from 4 to 3, but you gain a pip of weapon skill, so that's a good defensive thing. It means that the Chaos Lord hits you on 3s instead of 2s. You gain a pip of strength, which is important for those stomp attacks, which is where the real damage is coming out anyway. I think I pay the 15 points more to make them Ancient Stegodons. And we just go with the Giant Bow still, because that's absolutely fine. So if we remove the regular Stegodons, go for the Giant Stegodons, and then I think we have to cut, 28 points. So, cutting 28 points is not too difficult to do. I think for my money, what we do is you fight skinks with stegs, not... You're right, buddy. It looks like you had a stroke when you were typing that. Oh, right. No, I understand. Yes, that's very true. It's the attack. Yes, it's the skink crew's weapon skill that matters for incoming attacks. You are right. I still think I like the 15 points more, because the strength 6 stomps are really nice, and the 3 attacks at weapon skill 4 and 4 attacks at weapon skill 3 into a lot of profiles that mass out at roughly the same. So the initiative one doesn't really make a difference. In second round of combat, you strike at the same time as other people's great weapons, but I think for my money, I like the ancient Stegman more. But if we do have lizardman players in chat who disagree, let me know, because I don't play a huge amount of lizardmen. I did do a couple of weeks ago for the Pick My List stream, where I played full infantry or full Saurus lizardman, and then my opponent played full infantry corn demons, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, so we're just going to cut a couple of Saurus there, and that does the job. I like it. We've got a few points remaining. Is there anything here that's worth doing? You can only have 1 shield, so we can't give this character a single-use charm shield. I don't know that there's anything. Does Slan still get for level 5 wizard? Nick, the Slan is one of the worst casters in the game, and it's so sad. So he's a basic level 4. He's a monster, so he has 90-degree vision, so he's only straight forwards. He's only a level 4 caster. His own lore of spells is bad, and his upgrades, in fact, let's have a look at them. The upgrades you can take for the Slan are super underwhelming. So you can take... we're going to have to click them to go into them. You can take in here, highest state of mind, 60 points, makes you ethereal, but you're still a 5-wound T4 model with only a 5-up ward save, so you die to magic missiles pretty comfortably. You can take Transcendent Healing, which is a 5-up regen. I don't hate that, that's not awful. And then you've got like Solar Stone is to adjust the miscast, which is nice to have, but there's nothing in here that's particularly exciting. 90-degree, yeah, oh buddy, yeah, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Look what they've done to my boy. I've abandoned my boy. You can't put the Slan in the unit yet, no, 100%. Temple Guard can, like, look out Sir, protect him, but yeah, we pretend that the Slan doesn't exist if we're writing competitive lists, which is a shame, because they're cool, and I played one semi-recently, but it didn't do very well for me. So yeah, that's good. I think the only difference I might be tempted to make is to drop the Saurus down for more skinks, but I think this is super fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this one, and we're going to go back into the correct chat at Ginger Steve. There we go. Perfect. That is your lizardman list, but as always, bud, you're welcome to message me for more tweaks if you want. Always happy to look at those. So, the Slan was the best caster out there apart from Teclis. Well, but I don't want to ruin your day even more. Teclis doesn't even exist. Oh, it's oh damn. You've got some competition, Steve. Beowulf Miniatures, thank you so much for those gifted memberships as well. Really appreciate that. Again, if you have been gifted a membership, do come on down to the Close Order Discord. Put in the needs role, and I will apply your role, and you can come down to the VIP lobby. Vote on the Pick My Army, which I will put up over the weekend, I guess. We can get some discussion going for who wants to play there. Was late to the party. You don't have to apologise for anything, buddy. Not at all. Hassa Flavor, it gets outcast by weird skeletons. 100% does, yeah. The best caster in the game is it's probably the Mortis Engine level 4, which is a real shame. Any chance of a last-minute big infantry block list? Yeah, of course. You've just gifted 10 memberships. You 100% can have a list done. Whack it in the Discord, and I will get to that one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lists, and then obviously we've got Beowulf as well. So starting off, I've got Vindict here. So this one was interesting. Is that you, Economics Project? Are you Vindict? Let me just scroll up to the... Currently, I only pick my army as a joke suggestion of great cannons. Unfortunately, most places... well, to be fair, not everyone has rule of 3. So I guess that is a... It would be such a sad thing to have to play against. Okay, so... Vindict was the High Elf list. Hey, Pirates here as well. Fantastic. We'll get to you next, Pirate. I did like your full Peasant list. We'll talk about that one. So the High Elf list, I think, is interesting. Have I clicked the right thing? It says 1782. Why am I missing some points? Having a resin printer is dangerous when playing Old World. No, it's not dangerous. It's a fantastic and joyous gift. Your store is the Wild West due to playing straight out of the rulebook. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, maybe we see that depending on what people want to go with. So, how have I got this wrong? So I've put your list in. I've got the Prince, I've got the Archmage, I've got the 505 points of core, I've got 2 units of Dragon Princes. Oh, I haven't got the Sisters of Avalon in. That's 217 points that I'm missing. That makes sense. So it's 12 of them, and then you've got a High Sister with the Ruby Ring of Ruin, which is just a great little unit. Worth every penny you spend on them. 3 cannons, 3 mortars, and 3 Hellblasters. I think, I think Rob says he's doing the Warhammer World version of Rule of 3 at TSN now. So, okay. Interesting. In terms of that then, Steve, you can always just put the skinks back. I don't think we changed much. I just tweaked the Stegtons. I think you, again, maximized it to an ideal pretty well. You've got a good wall of 5 monsters that are just going to run at you full T6 with a good save, or decent enough save anyway. So, yeah, back to the High Elves. Perfect. This list is really interesting. So, you've gone for the Archmage on the Lothan Skycutter, which is the Flying Chariot. You've given them Lore Familiar, Power Scroll, Seed of Rebirth, Talisman of Protection. So, you've got a 5-up save. You've got 6 wounds with T4. I think it comes with a 4-up save, the Lothan Skycutter. Yeah, that's right. And you've got Battle Magic with Power Scroll, Seed of Rebirth, Lore Familiar. I wonder if you don't, you just pick Oaken Shield and you rely on that for your ward save, or is that too risky, do you think? There's an enterprising somewhere in the old world who just mass produces the Ruby Ring. Yeah, I think that might be a good line to go down. So Seaguard here. I like this. This is a spicy little caster. 375 points, very mobile. T4 with a 4-up save gets you to 7 wounds, not 6, sorry. With triple save there. The Prince, you've gone for Sword of Might. I don't love a Sword of Might. I know it lets you stay on a 2-up save in combat. I don't think that's super valuable. For my money, I think you drop the Sword of Might, you take a Charmed Shield instead of your regular shield, and that gives you a single 5-up ward. Just in case someone shoots you with something, you may as well get 1 extra save, for 3 points. And then you take a great weapon, because 4 attacks at initiative 7, I think it is for an elf. Initiative 6, weapon skill 7, they just add up. I'm always impressed by my my Dark Elf Noble. Dread Prince, I think.
For next week's Get to Work stream, or looking at my list later. Oh, choice is yours.
Thank you so much. That's so generous of you. I really appreciate that. I may have uninstalled Get to Work already, but I will absolutely look at your list, and you didn't have to give me any money for that, but I do appreciate it. Or says Charm Shield is like the best 2 to 3 points upgrade in the whole game. Yeah, I agree. If you haven't got a consistent ward save, just getting a single 5-up ward is really nice to have. So, yeah, Star Dragon, I changed that slightly. Give it a great weapon, drop the Sword of Might, because that's not going to do much. Except that you've only got a 3-up save in combat, but you've got still, a good save. With the 2 Opal Amulets and the Seed of Rebirth regen. I think this is interesting. You've gone for a full violence list, as far as I can tell. Double Dragon Princes. I'm a little worried about Dragon Princes, because they are not super defensive. They are T3 with a 2-up save, which is that's going to fall over to small arms fire surprisingly quickly, I think. But if we're doing it, which is fine, I'd change the Drake Master to Musicians. I think that's just a better use of points. You don't want to get challenged out, I find, with these units of heavy cavalry. So having the Musician here gives you, If it's a close fight, it gives you the +1 combat res. If you run away for whatever reason, which with smaller units you're not unlikely to do, it gives you that +1 to rally. It's just quite nice to have. I think it's interesting. I'd maybe be tempted to go, if you're doing it, because I'm worried about casualties making these units pretty ineffective. How many points do we have to drop here? Yeah, so if you go down to a unit for 8 Sister Avalon, you lose 4 bows. You still have the Ruby Ring of Ruin in there, and that gets you an extra Dragon Prince in each unit. But yeah, no, I think this is really interesting. I like what you've done with the character allocation here. You've gone for 2 fairly tanky characters. I really like that. And if we do see the rule of 500 point cap come in, it'd be quite easy just to slot this down to how would you do that? Maybe just drop the Charmed Shield and just accept that you've got a slightly worse save, and then you keep the double opal amulet, something like that. Thought it was still rule of 3 unless more restricted by rules in the army book. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out because I haven't been looking at the event pack. I should, because I've got an event at the TSN Arena next week. So, yeah, we'll get to that one. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful, Vindicate. Let me just copy in there. And as always, if there are any tweaks that, if you think I've missed the mark with anything, do just feel free to message me, like in Discord. Just like put it in the channel, either the Fix My List channel or the correct channel for whatever your army is. Ping me and I will be happy to have another look at your army there. Pirate, you have a full peasant list that I think is very fun. So when I was looking at this, am I right in thinking that the list doesn't add up to 2,000 points? You've got 1,779 by my metric. Does that sound about right to you? I don't think I've missed anything here. You've got double trebuchet, double bombard, double brigands, triple mounted yeoman, big brick of yeoman guard, 2 units of peasant bowman, knight to the realm or fuck because you have to legally, triple outcast wizard, and then sergeant in arms. I'm assuming that this is meant to be a 2,000 point list, so I'm going to work to that standard. I think triple outcast wizard is really interesting. I don't think dark magic's where I'd want to go, because the magic missile is pretty underwhelming, and by that I mean it's terrible. And if you're just straight rolling spells, I don't think I love that. So I think let's just juice up these wizards, because you're kind of trying to chip away at your opponent as much as possible. You're playing less of a fair game than other people have to. So we're going to go with the Lore Familiar on one of them, on a battle magic caster. That way you can pick Fireball, Ruby Ring of you can pick Fireball, Pillar of Fire, and then probably Arcane Urgency as well, just as 3 really solid spells to have. The second one, I think Demonology with the what's it called? Flame Strike Wand is just nice to have because you can have Fireball. Was there a better item that I wanted to put in here? No, I'm combining it with the Empire one in my head. So just like a 1-use Fireball, I think is, because you're not fighting on fair terms, just getting an extra little bit of efficiency out there, 15 points is good. Demonology lets you pick your signature spell here for the summoning, which is a good magic missile. And then for the third one, I think for the third one, I'd probably go Demonology as well. And then I'd be tempted to go Ruby Ring of Ruin. And is there anything else? Well, there's the Prayer Icon of Quenelles, so I'd probably put that on one of them. I can't see your emails, but I read the sentence as rule of 3 doesn't overrule the 0 to 1, not letting you get more cannons. Prayer Icon's really nice. Yeah, absolutely. I've put it on one of them, which is... It's a little bit difficult, because you don't really want the Ruby Ring of Ruin to be too close, which I guess the Prayer Icon does give you an extra range. So yeah, no, actually, I like this setup. So we've added 100 points of magic missiles, and it gives you a Lore Familiar on a dark magic caster is good because you can Fireball. Guarantee having the Fireball with Flame Strike, Wand, and Ruby Ring. I don't think there's anything in here that you need dark magic for, right? Because you don't really want to get into combat if possible. Having a Demonology caster so you could move the brigands around might be decent. But yeah, no, I think this is cute. The problem is we've got a lot of points left to work with, 120 points left, and all we can take are peasants, so I'm kind of struggling a little bit. I feel like Border Prince Brigands... Let me just double check this. Brigands are 0 to 1 per 1,000 points or something like that. I'm sure there's a reason that you can't take more of them. I know the Bombard is 0 to 1 per 1,000 points, but let's just have a look at the Brigands as well. Let's see what we've got here. So, Exiles... Come on, you bugger. No, you can just have unlimited Brigands. More Foot Knights. So, the theme of this list, Nick, is Peasants. There's 5 in here just because they have to be, but I quite like having as little as possible. So they're here purely, you know, I'm here so I don't get fined, is basically the vibe for that. I think, yeah, let's go another unit of Brigands. Let's go another unit of Brigands like this. So we're just going, oh, hold on, is there a, oh, only 2 units can skirmish. Okay, yeah, that's that. I guess maybe we go another unit of bowmen, because nobody's upset at having bowmen. I don't think skirmishes are 0 to 1 per 1,000 points. I think that one's fine. And then I think let's go for another Sergeant at Arms, because the Sergeant at Arms gives you... What's the special rule it gives you? Peasant's Duty. Or it gives you basically pseudo-stubborn. So if you put the Grail Monk with the Triptych in and 2 of the Sergeant-at-Arms, it's almost impossible to make this unit run away. So I think another Sergeant-at-Arms, and then let's just max these, or not max, but let's just bump them up a little bit. So we'll go 12, 12, 10 on the Peasants. I think I like that. I think this plays to the theme quite well, and I'd be interested to see how it does. I think with the additional juicing of the casters, you've got enough actual ranged output to threaten, you know, threaten some targets. Oh, I've hit the 2,000 points list. Okay, let me put it as a text file. There we go. And then at pirate. Fantastic stuff. Okay, sweet. So, where were we up to? Goldfire, I can see you in chat. I'm not even going to ask if you're here. I like your list. So, if I remember correctly, I'm just going to scroll up in Discord. You said that you were looking for, let's have a look, a competitive list. It was just above this one, wasn't it? There we go. I want a competitive Tomb King list with lots of skeletons. Can be Mortuary Cult or Royal Host. Units preferred in random order. Dragons, Skeletons, Ushabti, Boshabti, Horse Archers, Scorpion Swarm, and Sphinx. I like to keep potential comp TMP changes and missions in mind, so mass casters plus pure Boshabti might not be ideal. I agree. I think this is more of the direction that we'll see Tomb Kings moving towards. And I think that what we'll see them do is go double Necrosphinx. So, oh god, I've forgotten his name. Phil Carl, I think is his name. The American who's been playing basically the same list, which is double Dragon, double Necrosphinx. I think that's the list he's been playing. Very solid list. Doing very well with it, winning a lot of events, or doing just like placing very well at events. So I would say if you wanted to make it as competitive as possible, drop the Ushabti, and then just go double Necrosphinx. However, I don't think the Ushabti are bad. So this is a version of the list, and you've still got 114 points left. So you could bulk out here. I'm not upset at this, and then I guess, is there a way to get 2 Tomb Scorpions in? As well, something to remember, because if you're putting a Tomb King on a Dragon, which I do like, I think that's great. If you're putting a Tomb King on Dragon, you're not playing Mortuary Cult, which means that you're only casting at the level you're at, you know, like the rest of us peasants. So when you're trying to cast the Cursed Blades, you need to roll a 6, which is not super unlikely, but maybe it's worth making him a level 2 instead of a level 1. I could see that being worth doing. Yeah, I like that. Oh, no, you're 26 points over if you do that. Okay, there's a reason that we haven't gone for it, so let's not then. You have gone Potion of Toughness. Is that the way that Tomb King players have gone? It's not something that I've seen people do, character points. Yeah, exactly. I got there just a little bit after you, unfortunately, bud. I am not sold on the Potion of Toughness, because you can only activate it in your command phase, and then it goes away after that. So it gets you up to T7, 8, 9, whatever it is, because it's D3, isn't it, the Potion of Toughness? Yeah. Does the Potion of Strength... Oh, you don't have Potion... no, you don't have points for the Potion of Strength anyway. I mean, it's not awful. I just don't know that I'm putting it on. Forever the Skeptic, quick question regarding Pillars of the Thorn. If you have... sorry, Sisters of the Thorn. If you have Pillars of Fire, am I allowed to march and cast Pillar of Fire, or does it have the move and shoot respect? Yeah, so you... the way that it works is magic missiles and vortexes. Both of those you cast at... you can't cast if you march, but once you've cast it, so what I typically do is cast it turn 1, and I'll often have my Sister of the Thorn in a marching column. I will cast it, and then I will have them in marching column and just march them for the rest of the game, because it's a remains in play spell, so I want to stay out of range of my opponent's dispel. Goldfire says, lose the potion, but hard to get a foot card with poison amulet. I like the Mortuary Priest. I like having the Mortuary Priest here. I think this is the correct carrot to put in. If you lose the Talisman... not the Talisman Protection. If you lose the Potion of Toughness, I don't think that even frees up enough points. 24. Yeah, we'll leave it off. It can go back on. Is there a scope to put a second Tomb Scorpion in? Oh, that's just not quite enough points, is there? And there's no way to tweak that, because this is bare bones characters. You can't go any lower. Oh, no, actually, you can, because... No, you can't. Okay, so we're not going the double Tomb Scorpions. But this isn't really what you're asking for, because if you want to do it, you can just copy Phil's list. It's a very good list. I would recommend playing it if that's the direction you want to go in, but you can also play this list. And I do still like the Bushard team. Maybe we don't go for the full 10. Maybe we go for 6, and then we put a single Necrosphinx in, and that leaves us with... Oh, screw it. Let's just put the Potion of Toughness back on. And then I'll leave it up to your discretion whether it makes it in. And at that point, another one Archer? You're fine with the Sphinx? Yeah. This is closer to what you wanted to play. I'd say play around with this, because I think this is good still. Even with, like, if TMP gets nerfed to be so you can't move quite as ridiculously, it's still going to be good. Obviously, you've still got all the poison shooting, which is incredible. You're going to be casting your Cursed Blades. Then you've got Double Dragon, which is just going to deal with most of the things. The big problem that the Tomb King dragons have is they lose fights, or they should lose fights, to enemy dragons, because they are just worse in every respect. So if you've got the Skeleton Archers to deal with that, then you've got the warriors, who are kind of not doing much, but they're also not awful, especially if we see like objective play come in, or just like from a points denial sort of angle. And you know, what else are you going to put in core? In Grand Army, you could put a few things. Horse archers are good, but yeah. Phil's list is just kind of... Phil is a very good Warhammer guy. I think the general theme of double dragon, double Necrosphinx is very strong, and it's what I'm considering if nerfs do come in it, and if I want to play Tomb Kings. I'd have to look again at like the super specifics as to whether I think that's the best way to play, but the bones of it is definitely what I'd look at. I think he runs double Tomb Scorpion as well, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think this is a good version of the list. I like it. I'm not sold on the Potion of Softness, but I also have nothing else that I'd rather put in. So play around with that one. That's the sort of tweaks that, you know, just make if you find that you've changed your mind on something. It was Goldfire, so if I just put that in there. The bones of it. He's got a big units of chariots in the monster camp unit. Okay, yeah, maybe you don't put those in core, but I don't mind them, because it's just sort of like a high density of wounds that he's running at you. So I think it's the Sepulchral Stalkers, right? So it's T4, 3 wounds. They've got what is it? A 5-up save? Yeah, 5-up save. Is it really only a 5-up save? Do they not have? Yeah, 5-up save, 6-up regen. You got the potion idea from Phil's list. Interesting. I haven't played around with it or seen it. I haven't looked super closely at Phil's list. But I'd be... Have you played around with it, Goldfire? Have you got, like, in-game experience with it? I'd be interested to hear how it goes. Cool. So, Pirate, I see you in chat. We've been through your list already. I've posted it in, but just to give you a quick run through, because it sounds like you weren't here before. What we did, because I think it was a 2,000 points list, because you were at like 1,800 or so points, added a second sergeant at arms, so the big unit is basically unbreakable the first time that you charge into it, because you've got like a secondary set of stubborn with the peasantry. So it's you have to kill both sergeant at arms and the Grail Monk with the triptych. Before you, it's not peasantry, it's the peasant's duty, before you lose your sort of like shield wall effect rule. The outcast wizards, we gave one battle magic and lore familiar, and that gives you can pick pillar of fire and fireball and go fast, arcane urgency. The second one, we went demonology with the flame strike wand, which is a one-use fireball. Third one, we went ruby ring of ruin and the prayer icon of Quenelles to give you additional sort of dispel range and dispel bonuses to hexes, and then demonology again, because the magic missile you get from demonology is good. Added a few more peasants here, and yeah, that was about it. I like the list. I think it's a really fun theme. Okay, so where are we up to next? I think we're up to Markovit's Lizardmen, which was an interesting one. So this was a 1750 list. So if I just scroll back up in here, because there were some requirements for it. Let me have a look here. So, here we go. This is my friend's Lizardman list. He's especially struggling versus vampire counts, but keep it all comers. Our local comp allows upgrading Saurus warriors to Temple Guard. What a great quality of life fix. I love that. That's so good in terms of making Lizardmen more interesting and appealing. Hey, Camille. The guy who posted the lizards reporting. Perfect timing. The biggest dragon we can encounter is a wyvern. This is great news. All of these things make Lizardmen go from being very underwhelming to being probably like a decent contender. Rule of 3, keep the slan, which is, if you're struggling, the slan is the thing that should go, just to be clear. But, you know, if you really want to play around with the slan, that's fine. We can do that. So I think this list is interesting. We've got a Carnosaur, Talisman of Protection, Great Weapon, Shield. You know, that's fine. It's an old blood, so you're going to be hitting real hard. We've got a Scar Veteran who's a BSB with... Oh, have I not given him... Should he have a Great Weapon? He should probably have a Great Weapon. No, he's got Biting Blade. That was it. So he's got Biting Blade, Charm Shield, Hide the Cold Ones. So to me, that says that this character might run around on his own, or he might go in the Temple Guard, because it gives you +1 to your armor save, and then also... oh no, Hide the Cold Ones. It's... Is it Hide the Cold Ones, or is it the other... Yeah, so it's just giving you +1. So he's going with the unit of Cold One Riders. Okay. Pretty much has every model and can field everything, so don't hold back. Okay, cool. So, just first points. I know you said the slan should stay in. The most obvious thing to do, remove this, put in a Scar Veteran on Carnosaur, you know, and go for a second aggressive model here. I'm not going to fill that out because you said you didn't want it, but if he's still struggling after tweaks, this is the way I'd go. Go for double Carnosaur. You're going to have a much better time, and if you drop the whatchamacallit. In here, you've got Rule of 3, which is fair enough. So you've got 2 units of 10 skinks and a single unit of 10 that doesn't have scouts. Big unit of Temple Guard. I like this. Ruby Ring of Ruin on them. That's solid as well. The main thing that I'm looking at here is I don't like the Cold One Riders. I don't see a place for them. So let's get rid of those. And given that that's gone, I think you probably lose this as well. So if we put the slan back in. So this frees up some points to play with. If we went... There isn't points to put a Carnosaur in here as well as the slan. So let's go slan. I think it was Cold Ones really need countercharge. There's just I think there's a lot of problems with specifically Lizardman Cold Ones. The Cold Ones that you get for Dark Elves are incredible with their T-up save, and they're much better like access to Leadership 10. But I'm underwhelmed by the Lizardman Cold Ones. So, Slan, Elementalism, Lore Familiar, that's what he had in here already, which I guess makes sense because we're going to be looking at poison shooting. So that does make sense. Even near the Temple Guard, I'm a little worried about this. I know people are going to tell you that you should make a ethereal. I think the regen's better because it's really the magic missiles that worry me, or the magical attacks. So I'd maybe be tempted to go like this. I don't know if you put the BSB on the Slan. It is nice to have the rerolls though. We'll come back to that if we need to. Core, Skinks, and Temple Guard is fine. Stegodon. If we drop this down, I know we're losing a magic missile if we drop it down to just a regular Stegodon. Does that fit in? You could go double regular Stegodon, which, even though you lose the magic missile, it does give you more play. Obviously, you lose the +1 to cast from the Engine of the Gods. I think you have to have 2 of them, don't you? Yeah, you have to have 2 Engine of the Gods to get the +1 to cast. So I don't think it's worth going. Like, it's a decent, it's a short range fireball that's cast at power level 3. I'm not paying the extra points to put that in. I'm pretty happy to put double Stegodon in. I think that gives you more play. The problem is if you're losing into vampire counts, I don't really know what you do, because the way that vampire counts are probably going to beat you is by casting at +6. To get to, you need a stink on Skeg. Yeah, especially at 1750 points Wooter. But we're really squeezed on character points here, so we can't fit that in, unfortunately. Yeah. I think... I don't know. If we've gone elementalism, I feel like we want to buff up this shooting more. I know we're overcapping on core, but you probably want more poison shots to make use of that, right? Gotta go now. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it feels weird sometimes when I don't make many changes because someone's just got a good idea and they've maximized it well. I'm like, oh, surely there must be something I can tweak, but sometimes there just isn't. People get it right. So have a good evening, Goldfire. The question is there anything else that you can add in that's good? The Slan needs most of the useful points. Yeah, this thing is an absolute dead weight, unfortunately. But we can maximize to it. It is what it is. Maybe because we're leaning on the elementalism casting angle, we put in a Skink Priest so we can bounce spells through and it can join the Skink Skirmishes. It doesn't have to be much of a caster. I guess let's just go Illusion, so you can cast Glittering Robe on a 7 and just make the 1 unit Skinks slightly harder to remove. That's fine. And then that gives you, obviously, the Arcane Vassal to cast your spells through. Skink Priest with the dispel item. Oh, if you're happy to get rid of the Slan, yeah. I do not hate the Cube of Darkness on a level 1 Skink Priest. I think that's really fun. Oh god, I forgot you can only take 1 Old Blood or Skink Priest per 1,000 points. That's so terrible. That just feels bad. That feels really bad. But if you're willing to drop the Slan, we'll do that. We'll drop the Old Blood and we'll turn it into a Scar Veteran. And I think... Can you have multiple Scar Veterans? Is there a cap on those? Yeah. So... Skaven level bad. Yeah, I know. Feel like they intentionally nerfed Lizardmen. I think, personally, what happened was they got halfway through writing all the legacy rules, expecting them to be in the base game, and then they just stopped for whatever reason. The reason being they were told that they had to stop. So, yeah, that's my expectation there. So the Scar Veteran with Great Weapon and Shield on a Carnosaur. If you drop... if you're willing to drop the Slan, you can just get a double Carnosaur, which is way better. You still lose to Screams, but having the Slan doesn't stop that, unfortunately. So, what am I looking for? Glyph Necklace. Where's the Glyph Necklace? There we go. Oh no, I've given them both Glyph Necklace. Okay, so this one, we'll make this one the general, and we will take off the Glyph Necklace and give it Talisman of Protection. Where have you gone? And give it a Armor of Meteoricon. Yeah, perfect. I like that more. At which point we can drop these back down to a lower number because we're not playing Elementalism, so we don't have to worry as much, which means we've got the better part of 100 points, and we can drop these even lower if needs be. What do we put in? Like, I've been surprisingly impressed by Pterodon Riders, honestly. They give you just a tool to try and harass and pick up some sort of caster with. So maybe this is the way to go. Like, I'm not super sold on the Pterodon Riders, but it's... Oh, God. Can you really only take one Stegodon per 1,000 points? Well, that doesn't work. Sure. Just go back to the ancient Stegodon. God, this is truly a Sisyphean hell. I am unhappy. I don't know what to put in this list to make it not terrible. If I was doing this for me, I would have given up Skink on Steg. The problem is you can't, because he's at 1750 points. We've only got 138 points remaining, so we're capped on character points because you can't fit that in. We're at 100 points too many if we do that. It's a good suggestion, but I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. It's the fault of the people who wrote the Lizardmen book, or the reason that they didn't get time to. You get the boulder to the top, you will. If anyone saw my getting over or get to work stream, it turns out I won't get to the top. I wasn't even able to make unpaid intern, which was after warehouse worker. Oh God, what are we putting in here? There's rule of 3, so we can't put in more skinks. What the fuck are we doing? The problem is, yeah, it's. Yeah, Steve, I agree. It's not necessarily 3 Stegodons, but it's like as much toughness spam as possible, and you can't do that here. Oh, Bastillodon. That's the wrong thing. I don't hate Bastillodons. So they are T5 4 wounds, so they are squishier. They still have a 3-up save, though. And then they've got the handler rule, I think. Maybe not. But maybe 2 of these. Oh, there we go. Now we're cooking with charcoal. This is... I still don't love this, but it's better. We don't have... I need to just drop 4 points somewhere. Made, paid, bottle builder. You meant 3 Carnosaurs. Yeah, 3 Carnosaurs is good. I still like 2 Carnosaurs. Like 2 Carnosaurs and the Stegodon, and then the Bastillodons. Like, they are kind of squishy, but they're not that squishy. Oh, they need to be solar engines, so I was missing out on those. So that means we're actually a few points over. Let's just drop the Temple Guard down. God damn it. Like, I like that they're in. I don't want to go too low on them. Is there anything else that we can drop here? Oh, you don't need a shield because you've got Armor Meteoricon. There we go. We're going to call that done. That is what we've got here. Oh God, I think that is more playable than what your friend was playing. But I'm sorry. I hate it. What was the name? Is Mark Fitz. I think I've pinged the right... I've got streamer mode on, so I think I've pinged the right person. If not, someone's going to be very confused. Cool. What are we on now? We've got one last one. We've got Votan's Empire. And so I know Owen. Owen is very methodical. He thinks about his lists a lot. So I'm looking at this, and I'm not sure there's going to be much in the way of tweaks that I can make. But we're going to talk through it. It's Dino Dash or nothing for the lizards. I think that's correct, Steve. I think that is a good summary of what they have, and what they have is not great because things that are good in the meta, poison shooting and dragons, just beat toughness spam with low armor save. 3 points core, missing in Lizzie's one at max. Was it? I don't think it. Oh God, it is. Oh, thank you for spotting that. God damn it. God damn it. Paint is Beastmen blue. Yeah, Beastmen are definitely better. Oh God, this is so sad. There's not even anything I can do. Maybe we just have to drop the armor of Meteoricon and and just accept that we're sad about that. Okay, at which point we then have... there we go. 15 Temple Guard. So... I'm going to export this list. Thank you, Wooter. Good spot there. I wouldn't want to post and give someone an illegal list, because they'll never let you hear the end of it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, sweet. So, yes, back to Owen's Empire list, and then we'll go on to... there was a request from Beowulf Miniatures. Did you post the list, Beowulf? Let's have a look. I'm not seeing it in the chat. Illegal list, he says. Yeah, there we go. See? You mention it, and... yes, so Beowulf, do you have a list to build on from a big infantry block style beastman list, if there's any time? Which there will be time, don't worry about that. If you don't have, only if there's... Buddy, don't worry about it. I'm absolutely happy to do that. When you're as generous as you have been, the least I can do is write a single list for you. That's really not a problem. So if you've got a list that you've got sort of started, feel free to whack it in, or if not, I can write one from scratch. I've got a rough idea of what I'd want to know. From scratch, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'll do it. All right, so let's have a quick look at Owen's list, and like I say, this will be a quick look because Owen's very good at list writing, and I like what he's gone for. So he's gone Grand Master here. He's given it this is Grand Army. He's got Order of the White Wolf, which gives you Furious Charge and then access to the Wolf Hammers. You do still have to pay for the Great Weapons because the rule is written a bit weirdly. On a Demigryph with Ogre Blade and Talisman of Protection. So this thing slaps. Your only weapon skill 6, which is the downside. I'd love to get a ward save, not a ward save, a Paymaster's Coin in there. But yeah, 5 attacks with Furious Charge with an Ogre Blade. Even though you're probably hitting on 4s, that's still pretty spicy. I do like that. Wizard Lord, Tome of Midnight, Armor of Tarnus, Dark Magic. So this is Dark Magic rolling for, obviously, the usual Battle Lust, basically to buff up either the Empire Knights or the Demigryphs. Word of Pain's a really nice debuff as well, so I like that. Also, Wizard's Familiar as well, which, let me just remind myself, that's +1 to Dispel? Yeah, +1 to Dispel. So this is a nice little defensive character. It's got a 6-up armor save from the Armor of Tarnus. I think it's a light armor. And then you get a 5-up ward save as well. And then there's a second Wizard Lord on Pegasus. This is the fun one. I really like this, as you may know, from the Empire Battle report that I played live, which was level 4 Hammer of Righteousness. He went for Pegasus. I put mine on a Griffin, which is probably worse, but Hammer of Righteousness, Power Scroll, Lore Familiar, and Illusion. So if we have a look at this, we all know what Spectral Doppelganger does. You know, it's the 2d6 auto hits, and he's gone Hammer of Righteousness, which is Strength +2, so Strength 5, AP -2. The rest of these rules don't matter. If you're hit by the Hammer of Righteousness, you must take a leadership test for each hit. If you fail, it wounds automatically with no armor save, and if it's passed, roll to wound. So basically, you roll your Spectral Doppelganger, you get 2d6 auto hits, so you average 7. Your opponent fails, say, like 2 or 3 of them, depending on what their leadership is. Then you get to roll to wound as well. It's such a good weapon. It's really, really fun. It is squishy. You are a T3 model, because Pegasus doesn't give you strength. You are 3 wounds T4 with literally no armor save, so you have to get the combat. But you do have counter charge, so a melee army can't pick you up for free. You get a counter charge in, get the initiative, and do the Spectral Doppelganger. All of these characters I really like. I think they're very efficient at what they do. Good stuff there. Forever the Skeptic, one of the question, if I have a unit that can ambush, am I allowed to stick a character in that unit making an ambush too? No, I don't believe ambush applies to characters. And obviously they're deployed separately, so they don't go in. The character would have to have ambush as well. And even then, I think they have to come in separately. I'm not sure how ambush works. It's not a rule that I've looked at myself all that much. In core, he's gone for 12 Knights of the White Wolf, so they've got the big hammers and Furious Charge. Obviously, potentially going to give them Battle Lust for Frenzy and Hatred, which makes them hit real hard. They've got Magic Resist 2 from the Witch Hunter's Ward. They've got War Banner as well, and a Musician. This is all great stuff. This is a really effective unit. 2 units of Archers as well, both 6. Both of them are Scouts, one has Fire and Fleet, just to get them to that 501 points. Unit of 4 Demigryph Knights, 2 Great Cannons. Now, Owen did say that he wanted to have 2 units that he could screen, because you have to have 5 models to protect lone character shooting. I think what I'd prefer to see here is we cut some points and we try to get another cannon in, because I think that's more effective. So we're going to put a third cannon in here. And here we're going to put... oh, we can't put the good banner on them. It's 25 points. That is right. That's a shame. Does this work? If we drop the Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph, we're still 20 points over. In my head, I thought I could just put the good banner on here and it wasn't going to be a problem. But in retrospect, I can't do it. I really can't do that, can I? Yeah, no. I said he writes good lists. It's hard to beat what he's come up with. He'll have been looking at this for a good, 10 hours, I would think. I wouldn't mind getting Ruby Ring of Ruin in here. I feel like that's what this list is missing. But you capped out on characters there. Is the Wizard's Familiar better than Ruby Ring of Ruin? That is the question. Armor of Tarnus is... Do you just sack off the Armor of Tarnus? Do you just say play better? I think maybe you just say play better. Maybe that's the what we go with. Ruby Ring of Ruin is here. Why am I down on points? What have I taken off and forgotten to put back? What have I taken off and forgotten to put back? I really don't know. Oh, the banner. Yeah. Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph. Hey, Owen, how are you doing? Did I say earlier to take Ruby Ring of Ruin if a prophetess is going to the unit of knights? Yeah, I would take it off if it was going to the unit of knights. I can't remember if we did. I was just saying that your list is really good, and I'm finding it hard to tweak because you look at lists a lot. What I would probably do is just say I'm going to play better. I'm not going to put this character in harm's way. And I'm going to put the Ruby Ring of Ruin on there instead of the ward save, because you're still only a T3 model, right, with no save, no armor save. So you die to incidental firepower, kind of whatever. So I'd play more on the edge and go with the Ruby Ring of Ruin, and that frees up a few more points. I guess for the sake of it, I'd give this unit Fire and Flee as well, just to, do something like that. But yeah, no, it's a great list. The only thing I wanted to change was put the Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph on this unit, but that would be illegal because they are capped to 25 points. So yeah, good list, bud. I wanted to fit a third cannon in, but it's really hard to squeeze in. You'd have to make some cuts here to do that, and I don't really want to make cuts here. I think these are quite efficient. I also wanted to get a Paymaster's Coin onto the Grandmaster, but there's no way to do it. I guess you've got the Hatred from Battle Lust to give them rerolls, so you kind of don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, good list, mate. I like it. And let's write an infantry beastman list. So, I've got some ideas. So, let me just... There we go. So, if you're going infantry, the number one thing to do is you put Doom Bull in a unit of Gore. Is it Gore or Ungore? I think it's Gore. Yes, it's Gore. Because they're T4, they don't have much of a save. In fact, they don't have any save, but they're still solid to have. I think I like additional hand weapons more than shields. So we're going to give them full command here, and you're going to give a great weapon to the Truehorn, so it does some actual damage. And you probably go with, let's just have a look. Is it just WarBanjo? I think it might just be WarBanjo. Can Screams work against Ethereal? I think the consensus is no, because the Scream isn't a magical attack. So this, we're probably going to go, let's say we're going 40 Gore. Because we are going to try and do some decent infantry. So you can go smaller, but you specifically asked for infantry, so let's go big with them. So there's some combinations here. There is an argument for Vitrolic Totem. Is that the one that gives you reduced poison attacks? You know what? Let's just do Vitrolic Totem. Let's go for it. So Doom Bull, you go with a great weapon. You go heavy armor, and do you go heavy armor? You want to go. There's a few different options you can go for defensive. So let's put a BSB in here as well. This is important. So we're going to go with a Warhoof, and we're going to go heavy armor, shield, BSB. Nope. Get the name of them confused. Not a Gorbel either. God damn it. Wargore, there we go. Battle Standard Bearer, heavy armor, shield. don't give him any magic items for now, but we are going to give him slug skin. So this is going in the same unit as the Doom Bull, and it gives the entire anything that attacks the unit or any characters that are inside it get -1 to hit. So that's really solid, and that goes on the supportive BSB character. Do we want to give him anything on here? Banner of Outrage. I mean, we can come back to it. I'm planning on putting War Banner on... No, we were going Vitriolic Totem, so let's do that, and then we'll put War Banner on the War Gore. Perfect. So we've got a Doom Bull here, who's going Great Weapon, and there's a few options. I think I like the... Where's it gone? Gnarled Hide. Some lists also use Rust. Yeah, so the reason I'm avoiding Rust is because I want to make the Doom Bull relatively tanky. But it is really solid. And I think... What do we want to do? There's a couple of different things you can do. Let's go Bedazzling Helm. And let's just go for a tanky Doom Bull. You can kind of flavour this guy any way you want, but I like the tanky version more. So he's natively like a bit of a beat stick. He's T5 with 5 wounds. And between the Heavy Armour, which is a 5-up, the Bedazzling Helm, which is a 4-up, and then the... does he really? Oh, yes, Gnarled Hide. That gets you to a 3-up save, which is pretty solid. No point giving him a shield, because we're going to give him a Great Weapon, because he's got 5 attacks. He's Strength 6, so that's Wounding Dragons on 2 with a Great Weapon. You don't like the Rust Banner? Yeah, that's fair. I'm not a fan either. And also, you're going to take, an Elementalism Bray Shaman anyway, so you may well roll this. So for the Bray Shaman, just, go with what's good. We know what's good here. Oh, there's only 1 ward save. Okay. I probably actually want this on the Vile Tide caster. You know what? Let's not put it on there, and let's go on foot, because you can get away with that. And this is more of an infantry list, so let's say that we're doing that. He's got Foe Render, so a shield and Great Weapon isn't bad. That's true, but I want him to be something that can actually threaten a dragon. So we're going Hag Tree Fetish, we're going to Ruby Ring of Ruin, and we're just going to be on our feet. We're not going to be in a chariot. We're going to put the Great Bray Shaman in a unit. What unit does it want to join? That's the question. What do we reckon, chat? Because it wants to join something. Maybe Skirmishing Ungor? Ungor T4 as well. Oh, they are T3. I don't love that. It's not an awful place for him to go. That's fine. He could just go in the Death Star as well. Yeah, that is a fair point. Let's just put him in the Death Star. So then, what are we putting for the rest of the stuff? So the problem is, we've got like a infantry unit here. If we're making a balance between its infantry focus, but it's also got good stuff, I think we just put 3 Razor Gore in, because they're really good. And then let's just make this unit bigger. There we go, 43. Demonology is probably better if you want to go Death Star. Yeah, because then you can fly around the battlefield. You know what? That's fair. You play more beastmen than I do, so I will bow to your knowledge and opinion. Oh, the War Gore, what we're going to do, we're going to take off the shield and we're going to give him the Charm Shield. For reasons explained earlier. It's just the best cheap upgrade. You can make a character slightly more tanky. Yeah, so we're going Demonology. We are just hard rolling, but we are looking for Steed of Shadows, so you can fly your unit around, which is obviously good. Demonic Vessel, +1 strength, attacks, and AP, which goes really well with the 2-hand weapon that they've got. Obviously, only until your end of turn, which is a shame. And then Demonic Vigor for +1 movement, toughness, and initiative. If you get 2 of those 3, you're probably pretty happy. And then everything else is a bit underwhelming. But you can, if you want to. I think you shouldn't. You go Hag Tree Fetish and still just shooting with Vile Tide. But there is also Mantle of Gorok, which is a very funny spell. And it gives... Oh, no, it's just the caster. It applies to the mount. It doesn't apply to the unit. Okay, don't go Mantle of Gorok. That would be terrible in this situation. Yeah, so we've got infantry here. The problem is, what do we put in for the rest? Because beastmen don't really have elite infantry. I know there's besticores, but they're just not worth the points. And they're in core anyway. I don't hate the cheeky unit of 3 Minotaur with the 2-up save. But if we're doing that, we're taking Gnarled Hide off the Doom Bull, which is a choice. So let's go for the 3-up save. I think you can get... Oh, no, you can't even get that, can you? Minotaurs are in core. Why are they in special? Oh, can you take 1 in special and then... Ah, because the Doom Bull's the general. Yes, good point, good point. Okay, right. We're gonna re-establish Cheeky Shaggoth. Yeah, like Dragon Ogres are the obvious choice, but if we're trying to play to the theme, do we do something different? So let's change things up. Let's not try and make him as defensive as possible. Let's just make him tanky. Let's go back to what we know and put the caster on a chariot. Give it the Talisman of Protection. This is just a great loadout for the Brave Shaman. You know it, you love it. Let's just go heavy armor shield, lose the Gnarled Hide, and we'll give him magic items, Ogre Blade, and anything else that we want in there. Charm Shield, you may as well give him 1 there, because he hits real hard. Do we give him the... Oh, we could give him the Blackened Plate. It's full plate, so it gets him to a 3-up save, and it gives him a 3-up ward against flaming attacks, which is going to occasionally come up. Okay, so I don't mind this Doom Bull loadout. It's an interesting one. And he's still got the Strike's Last protection from the Warcore, so he still gets to fight first, which is enough damage. Can Centaurs work at all? I would say no. So the reason for that is, let's have a look at Drunken. Centaur Herd. So Drunken is one of the worst rules for losing control of your characters. So during your starter turn, you roll on the Drunken table. It's not like a leadership test. You just have to roll straight up if they're not in combat or frenzied. On a 1, they get random movement, but they only move d6 plus 2, so that sucks for you. 2 to 5, you get to control your unit as normal, and then 6 is frenzy. You could put 1 unit in and not feel like you're losing out too much. It is an inefficient choice, but you can make, like, having like a list that's still pretty competitive, you can make 1 like inefficient unit choice and not feel too bad about it, and they are pretty cheap. So let's, because you expressed interest in them, let's just go 1 unit and a musician. You know what, I almost never do this, but let's put them in ambush, because that way they don't have to roll Drunken as much. They can start off the board, and I like units of 6 for my cavalry. So we've got... Oh, yes, and then we're going to do the Minotaurs. So Minotaurs can do some fun stuff. I don't know if you've seen this, but the way this works is you take... Love the models back in the day. They are great models. I'm hoping when the Beastmen Arcane Journal comes out, they can do some fun stuff with them. So, Minotaurs have a rule called Motley Crew. I don't know if you've seen this, but basically what happens is if you have different armor saves, you take the majority armor save. So if you've got 3 models, all with a different armor save, you just use the best one. That's what we're going to do here. It's a fun little gimmick. So we're going to, and it doesn't represent super well here, so I'm going to talk through what we're doing. So we're going to start off with taking, oh god, no. We need the Blackened Plate for this model as well. God damn it. Alright, sorry, you're losing the Blackened Plate. You're just getting... You're just gonna have Strike's Last. Okay, so the Doom Bull is literally just there to hit things very hard with the blade. That's fine. Right, Minotaurs. We want infantry. We'll take a unit of infantry that's good. Let's give them the standard. Let's just go whole hog. Pun intended. So we're gonna get the Bloodkine to a 2-up armor save. That's the important detail. So we go Blackened Plate. We go a shield and then a hand weapon. But they've got, you know, AP on their hand weapons through being Beastmen. And then we're also going to go Gnarled Hide. And this combination gets the Bloodkine to a 2-up save, which means that we then have one Minotaur with a great weapon, which just has light armor, so he's got a 6-up save, and then one with a hand weapon shield, which has got a 5-up save. So because we've got a 2-up save, a 5-up save, and a 6-up save, we always take the 2-up save, which means that, especially since it's on the champion, if your opponent doesn't allocate wounds into the champion specifically, or doesn't allocate hits into the champion, you're going to be getting a 2-up save for 9 wounds, which is really efficient. And it is 207 points, but for a unit that's move 6, T4 with a 2-up save, I don't hate that. So This is a spicy little unit. It's a little cheeky, and it's some infantry that I think are actually quite good. And oh god damn it, I've clicked the wrong one. So let me just do what I said, but put it in the correct place. So we've got the Blackened Heart, we've got the Gnarled Hide, we've got one great weapon, we've got 2 shields, and that lets us do the shenanigans. I don't think there's anything you want on here for the banners, so I'm not going to put any on. Let me just get rid of the Minotaur Horde here. So this is 1650 points, and we've got a big unit of infantry. We've got a... Oh, it doesn't have to be that big. Let's go... yeah, let's go like 30, which is still pretty decent, along with the Doom Bull and the Wargore. So you've got a big unit of infantry. You've got a unit of Minotaurs with their shenanigans. I think 3 Razor Gore Herd is still good. Let's drop it to 2 for now. We can put another one in, because we're over-capped on core. Centaur, which are not great, but you want them in, and, you know, like I say, having one unit that's a little inefficient is not the end of the world. We've all got our little favourite units that we like to play around with. The question becomes, what the hell do we do with the rest of the list? It's difficult to put any other infantry in. You could put Chaos Trolls in, but I don't think they're particularly great with their stupidity. They have what are they? 3 wounds with a 6 of save and 5 of regen, so they're quite squishy. And then we've got the Chaos Ogres. I don't think they have Motley Crew. No. I don't love the Ogres either. So I think we've kind of hit a point where we've done a lot of infantry. In my eyes, what we do next is we just go units of Dragon Ogres, who are not technically infantry, but they're the next best thing. Be more interested in beastmen OGs. OGs. I'm not sure. I mean, if I was doing this, I'd just go for a 3rd, right? 72 points over. Maybe we just remove this, and you could put another Razor Gore in. Original units. Right, okay, I understand. So let's get rid of the Dragon Ogres. So if we're talking that, then I guess we're talking big beasties. Like the... My problem with the Beastmen monsters is none of them are particularly efficient, with the exception of the Gigantic Spawn of Chaos. The Gigantic Spawn of Chaos is very efficient. I really like that. I think it's a very solid unit, but it's super not Beastmen. It's very like demons more than anything else. Gorgons are probably the best of an underwhelming bunch, in my opinion. You could go for a couple of Gorgons, which would put you, if you remove here, something like this. I thought they were 5 points. I guess their Gores are 7 points. That's expensive. Why is a Gore 7 points? God, that's too much. But yeah, like something like this could is probably like the best version of the list. Where you go, you've got your Doom Bull Wargore in your big unit of Gore Herd. They've got poison, they've got strikes last for anyone coming into them. He's got an Ogre Blade, so he's going to be hitting super hard. A unit of Minotaurs with a 2-up save, so you actually get to do something fun with infantry. A couple of Razor Gore, just because they're cheap and cheerful, and, you know, pretty omnipresent. You could get rid of them and buff up the Gore Herd if you don't like Razor Gore. A unit of Centaur, and then a couple of Gorgons as well. I think that's not an awful way to do things. So something like that is one of the approaches you could take, I would say. Why not a Poison Brick? For the Doom Bull, does he go on the edge of the unit? He can go in the center of the unit because he's got a 50 mil, and the Gore have I believe Gore have a 25 mil base. Yeah, they have a 25 mil as well. No worries, buddy. The reason I haven't put a Poison Brick in is, I think if you're playing infantry, the request was for like a more classic infantry style list, as I interpreted it. A teleporting poison shooting brick is good, yes. But I think it's not. It takes away from what this list is doing, because you have to put the BSB in, so you don't get that sort of defensive Doom Bull, big combat res brick as well. You could do both. It just sort of takes away a little bit from what we've got here. But if you wanted to go with 2 bricks of infantry and have one of them teleporting around and shooting, you could definitely do that. But yeah, let's export that one, and put this in here into the @Beowulf. Lovely stuff. All right, it has been a great time. I've had a lovely Friday evening. Hopefully you all have as well. Thank you so much for joining me. No poison bricks. You have to play around the -3 to hit load of change. Good strategy. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. That is a spicy meatball. It's been great. Thank you for coming down. As I said, there are a few people who wanted their lists done that just missed out on the cutoff. So Entropy, Orcboy Phil, Silver, and Two Hands. You all have first port of call for the next stream, which will be in a fortnight's time, 2 weeks from now. Have a good evening. Join the Discord if you got gifted a membership. Message me in the Needs Roll channel, and I will give you your access to the VIP. Have